Hey everyone, this is Grace, and I am coming to you with my Easter/Spring Challenge giveaway. Now, normally I would not open another challenge when I have a existing one, because my Literary IC challenge is still ongoing until the end of February. However, I want to make sure that I give everyone plenty of time to craft for those of you who want to take part, especially since the deadline is March 31st. I need to physically have the entries in my hands by Saturday, March 31st, which, since it's open domestically as well as internationally, it may not give my international friends as much time. So I thought, you know what, today is February 17th. Let's start it now so that at least people have a few extra days to craft and then just get them on my way. So anyway, first let me show you what the prize package is, and then we'll move into the requirements. And then I will also, for those of you who are interested in hearing the relatively full report of the Christmas challenge giveaway fundraiser and how that went, I will include that at the end. So here's hoping I have enough memory. I've got 16 minutes to do this. So, all right. So I thought I would give 3 prizes. And so you guys know, I try to, there was a little bit of a logic to my thinking. I thought that since these were the bigger of the stamp sets that I recently picked up, that I would offer one per winner. Does that make sense? So basically what it is when I draw the first winner, that first winner will get a choice from these 3 stamps and then 2 from these. Okay, and I'll show you these in greater detail. The second person then will choose from the remaining 2, and then the third person will get the last one. Now, I do want to let you know, though, because I know quite a number of us are hunting for house mouse and buying house mouse. And for those of you who don't have a Tuesday morning nearby, I will say, Perry and Maddie's shop does have some house mouse cling stamps that you can get. And then Amazon, if you guys are just watching it, if you type in Stampendous Stamp and you go to the low to high price, sometimes you'll find some really good affordable prices on these cling stamps. I know, I'm giving away all my shopping secrets, huh? I'll have competitor shoppers now. Anyway, sharing is caring, right? So anyway, let me show you. These are the bigger ones. So you'll notice this is Pebble. And I thought, oh, Pebble's so cute. Such a lazy little bear. Taking a little afternoon nap. And then I know that some of you thought that this was adorable. The little skunk and the little mice, trying to still help, but, covering their noses. And then this one, the necklace. So each winner will be able to choose one from these 3. And I forgot to mention, actually, I got distracted with the Amazon comment. Let's say you're the third person selected and what is remaining, you have a duplicate here and there, let me know. And I certainly don't want you to get a duplicate house mouse stamp unless you want to, pay that forward to someone else. I will try to see if I can get you a substitute, okay? But anyway, these are your 3 choices for the first item that you select, and each winner is going to be receiving 3 of the house mouse stamps. So here you'll notice I've got 6, and you get to choose 2. So this was my way of making sure that I could have as many winners as possible, so I thought 3 would be a nice number. So this is Amanda and Mud Pie, and I thought these would just be really great for wedding invitations or wedding cards. Now, this little guy, so cute. Look at how content he looks. Sitting, snapping on top of a pile of jelly beans. And I suppose if you want, you can make these lima beans or black beans or, whatever, for those of us who are vegetarians. And then this is the little bunny. This is Hoppet. And you can tell Hoppet is snoozing inside a basket. And you can change these out to other things, not just Easter eggs. And then this is Bumble and Hoppet. And that you can either say that they are opening presents or preparing presents. And then this one just always cracks me up. Maxwell looks so mischievous, doesn't he? Playing around with Muzzy, who's napping. And then following along in the balloon theme, I thought Mud Pie, Maxwell, and Amanda blowing up party balloons would be really cute too. So anyway, the prizes are going to be 3 winners, and each winner gets to select one of these and then 2 of the smaller stamps. So I hope that makes sense. Now, on to the rules. It is open domestically as well as internationally. I think they're light enough that I can ship them internationally. Deadline, I do need to have the entries in my hands by March 31st, which is a Saturday. So just kind of be aware of that deadline. Now, the entries themselves are going to be 1 entry per handmade card that you make. And I do ask if you can to put them in those plastic sleeves, because I will be using them for a youth fundraiser again. And since I think I'm planning on holding the fundraiser the week after Easter, and so if you want to make Mother's Day cards, Father's Day cards, graduation cards, thank you cards, birthday cards, those are always welcome. Try to avoid Easter cards, otherwise I'm going to have to hold on to those for quite a while, because the fundraiser isn't going to happen until the week after Easter. But yeah, any of those cards, if you can make 1 or 2 or 3, mail them off to me with their accompanying envelopes. If you can put them in those plastic sleeves, great. If not, I do have some plastic sleeves that I can, slip those in. So that, that shouldn't be a deal breaker if some of you guys can't track down those plastic sleeves. And then in the back, go ahead and write your signature stamp, because I realize with the Christmas fundraiser, parents didn't mind whether it was from someone else or whether it was from the youth group or whether it was just handmade with love or whatnot. So, because they know that it's going to be card donations from some of my friends here on YouTube, as well as the youth kids who are making it and stuff like that. So, have I covered all the bases? So 1 entry per handmade card. And then for those of you who do upload videos on YouTube, I will give you 2 entries to film a video response and just share the news of the giveaway, challenge giveaway with your viewers. And then come back to this particular video and leave me the link, would you? Just so that I don't have to go, tracking down the videos. All right, I think that covers all of the requirements for the giveaway. Now, I did want to give you guys a report on the Christmas fundraiser, challenge giveaway that we had. I think, if memory serves me well, I had it end in mid-November because it was that joint talent show that my youth kids and a bunch of the other churches in the area were going to be holding. And so, thank you so much. We were able to sell, I think, about half of them maybe at the youth fundraiser. And it was kind of, how they say location, location, location. This year, I made the mistake of agreeing to, let them have us set the card booth kind of in the corner where all the other booths were. And so it was out of sight of the main, fellowship hall where the adults and the rest of the family were having dinner after the talent show. And so I don't think we got as much traffic as we could have, certainly not as much traffic as we did last year. And so I'll kind of keep that in mind for the future. But I will say, guys, there were a number of mothers who came and they were excited that we were having the handmade cards again, because they had purchased a number of them last year, and they said, or 2016 is what I mean. But they said that they were able to use them so well, and the recipients were very appreciative of the handmade cards. And so when we had them again this past year in 2017, some of the moms were like, "Oh, I'm so glad that that you came back and that you created more for us." And so I'm hoping to make this an annual Christmas card fundraiser drive, as long as we have that joint talent show with the various churches. Now, so that was November. And as I mentioned, I think we only sold, about half of them. And so I had all these cards, and I wanted to make sure that we certainly sold all of the cards that you guys had spent so much time and love and energy, creating. And so I looked at my youth group, and my youth group is really small. I don't know if I shared this with you. 3 high school senior girls, and then 1 high school freshman boy. Now we have 1 more high school senior boy, but back then we only had 4. And then we have a few older kids that are post-college who help out too. But anyway, I looked at the number of cards that were remaining, and I asked my youth group, I said, hey, if I bring all of my supplies, because we didn't really get a chance to craft handmade cards for the talent show, we just ran out of time. Kids were in finals. A lot of the seniors, as you guys can imagine, they were busy taking SATs, finishing that up, and getting college applications ready and stuff. So I didn't feel, as a teacher, I didn't feel comfortable, telling them, hey, let's craft handmade cards, because, those can take a little bit of time. But after all of that was over, around, I would say, first or second week of December, I looked at those cards, and there were still a good number, and I asked the kids if I brought all of my crafting, not all, but a good portion of my crafting supplies and tools and stuff. Do you guys want to make some handmade cards? Because we have a bunch still left from the talent show that we should, try to sell. And they were very enthusiastic. They were like, oh yeah, because we wanted to craft, but we couldn't in November. And so one Sunday, for about 2 hours, I brought a good portion of my, I think I took 2 bags worth of crafting supplies, and we just crafted. And the kids made these cards, and you guys know, anytime the cards go into plastic sleeves, I don't know, they just look a little bit more professional and stuff, right? But anyway, so we ended up putting all the cards in the plastic sleeves, and one of the girls is really good with selling, and so we sent her down. We set up a little table outside of the sanctuary, so as the adults from our congregation were coming out of service, they could take a look and see if they wanted to buy some cards. And while the rest of us were upstairs, finishing up crafting. Well, imagine my shock when the girl comes back up and she's like, Miss Grace, I'm done. I sold all the cards. And I was like, what? Because she was only out there for I would say, maybe 20, 30 minutes after the service was over, right? But apparently, here's the reason why I asked the kids if they wanted to have the second fundraiser with our church congregation, because not a lot of the Korean adults from my church congregation were at the talent show. Because, as I told you, there were only 4 youth kids, and so, their parents came, but certainly not the rest of the Korean adults. And so I thought, these handmade cards are so pretty. I'm sure other people would appreciate them, and they would certainly support us and such. So that's why we had the second fundraiser. And you know how church adults can be so supportive. So they bought them all, and we, just to make it a little bit easier for them to, support us, I did set the card for $1 each. I know it's kind of low, but it just made it that easier for the adults, because some of them are struggling financially. And so, for them to support us, certainly. And you guys know with these fundraisers, some adults end up, donating way more than, the cost of whatever the fundraising item is. And so, between people who bought the cards at face value and, people who donated even more than that, my little high school senior came up and she's like, Miss Grace, we sold them all. And I was like, what? So, and the adults were so appreciative. Afterwards, I had requests. Can you guys believe that? Someone came over to the youth room and said, could I make a request for, a certain type of handmade card for an occasion? And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, we don't take requests. It was just a fundraiser. So they just loved it. They loved the fact that the cards were, number 1, handmade, number 2, affordable, and number 3, that it was going to a good cause. So Anyway, with that money, I think we raised over $200. We were able to buy 3 sleeping bags. You guys know sleeping bags are really expensive. We were able to, there was actually a homeless person who sleeps in front of our church, and we didn't want him to get really cold, and it's really far from the shelter and stuff, so we got him a little tent so that he could at least, stay warm and such. So tents can be expensive. Sleeping bags, especially, I made sure that they were the the ones that could cover the real, what was it? I think it could cover up to like 40 some odd degrees or something like that, or 30 some odd degrees. I can't remember. But I remember thinking, man, when did sleeping bags get pricey like that? I remember when they were only like $15, $16. But anyway, we were able to get 3 sleeping bags with that money, and the women's group at church helped out. The youth kids were able to provide lunch, a hot lunch, for the homeless when we went to their ministry. Rice, kimchi, bulgogi, which is a Korean main dish, and then salad and things like that. And then, sorry, I had to pause because I had to cough. And then we ended up packing them socks, and then like a candy gift bag, and it was just awesome. So hold on, let me show you a picture. All right, never mind. I forgot to download the picture. Ugh. So anyway, I'm going to try to include in the thumbnail a picture of the 3 seniors who helped out. So at least you guys will be able to see their smiling faces that way. And I think that's it. So thank you guys so much for your support last Christmas. It was the kids.